secret powers suggest but truth to my divining thoughts. This pretty lad will prove our country's bliss. His hand to wield a scepter and himself likely in time to bless a regal throne.
King Henry and his son, the prince, are dead. Long live King Edward! Long live the king! Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by this son of yours, and all the clouds that lowered upon our house. In the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now are our brows bound with victorious wreaths, our bruised arms hung up from monuments, our stern alarms changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measure. Grim-visaged war has smoothed his wrinkled front. And now, instead of mounting barbed steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber to the lascivious pleasings of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous looking-glass, I, that am rudely stamped in one love's majesty, to strut before wanton ambling nymph, I, that am curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, set before my time into this breathing world, scarce half made up. Why I, in this weak, piping time of peace, have no delight to pass away the time, unless to spy my shadow in the sun and descant on mine own deformity. And therefore, since I cannot prove a lover, to entertain these farewell spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain and height the idle pleasures of these days. Plots have I laid, inductions dangerous, by drunken prophecies, libels and dreams, to set my brother Clarence and the king in deadly hate, the one against the other. And if King Edward be as true and just as I am subtle, false, and treacherous, this day should Clarence be closely mewed up about a prophecy which says that the letter G of Edward's heirs the murderer shall be. Ah, down to my soul. Here Clarence comes. Brother, good day. What means this armed guard that waits upon your grace?
His Majesty, tendering my person's safety, hath appointed this conduct to convey me to the tower.
Upon what cause?
Because my name is George.
What's the matter, Clarence? May I know?
Oh, he hearkens after prophecies and dreams, and from the crossrow plucks the letter G, and says that a wizard told him that by G, his issue disinherited should be. And for my name of George begins with G, it follows in his thought that I am he. These, and I learn, such like toys as these, have moved His Highness to commit me now.
Why, this it is. when men are ruled by women, 'tis not the king that sends you to the tower, my Lady Grey, his wife Clarence. 'Tis she that tempers him to this extremity. We are not safe, Clarence. We are not safe.
Oh, by heaven! I say there's no man is secure, but for the queen's kindred and the knight heralds that trudge betwixt the king and mistress shore.
I tell you what, I think it is our way to keep in favor with the king, to be her men and wear her livery.
I beseech your graces both to pardon me. His majesty has strictly given in charge that no man shall have private conference of what degree soever with his brother.
We speak no treason, man. We say that the king is wise and virtuous, and that the noble queen well struck in years, fair and not jealous. We say that Shore's wife hath a pretty foot, a cherry lip, a bonny eye, and a passing pleasing tongue, and that the queen's kindred are made gentle folk. How now, sir? Can you deny all this?
I beseech your grace, and with all, forbear your conference with the noble duke.
We know thy charge, Brackenberry.
We are the queen's abjects and must obey. Brother, farewell. I will unto the king, and whatsoever you will employ me in, I will perform it to enfranchise you. Meantime, this deep disgrace and brotherhood touches me deeper than you can imagine.
I know it pleaseth neither of us well.
Well, meantime, your imprisonment shall not be long. Have patience.
I must. Perforce. Farewell.
Go, go, tread the path that thou shalt ne'er return, simple, plain Clarence. I do love thee so, that I will shortly send thy soul to heaven. Who comes here? Who delivered Hastings?
Good time of day unto my gracious lord.
Much unto my good Lord Chamberlain. What news abroad?
No news so bad abroad as this at home. The king is sickly, weak, and melancholy, and his physicians fear him mightily.
Now by St. Paul, this is bad news indeed. What is he in his bed?
He is.
Go you before, and I will follow you. He cannot live, I hope. It must not die till George be packed with post-horse up to heaven. For then I will marry Warwick's youngest daughter. What? Though I killed her husband and her father. But I run before my horse to market. Clarence still breathes. Edward still lives and reigns. When they are gone, then must I count my gains.
To hear the lamentations of poor Anne, wife to thy Edward, to thy slaughtered son, stabbed by the self-same hand that made these wounds. Lo, in these windows that let forth thy life, I pour the helpless balm of my poor eyes. Cursed be the hand that made these fatal holes. Cursed be the heart that had the heart to do it. Cursed be the blood that led this blood from hence. If ever he have child, abortive be it, prodigious and untimely brought to light, whose ugly and unnatural aspect may fright the hopeful mother at the view, and that be heir to his unhappiness. If ever he have wife, let her be made as miserable by the death of him as I am made by my poor lord and thee.
Stay you that bear the corpse, and set it down.
What black magician conjures up this fiend to stop devoted, charitable deeds?
Villains, set down the corpse, or by St. Paul, I'll make a corpse of him that disobeys.
My lord, stand back and let the coffin pass.
Unmannered dog. Stand thou when I command!
What, do you tremble? Are you all afraid? Alas, I blame you not, for you are mortal, and mortal eyes cannot endure the devil.
Sweet saint, for charity, be not so cursed.
Foul devil, for God's sake hence, and trouble us not. For thou hast made the happy earth thy hell, filled it with cursing cries and deepest slaves. If thou delight to view thy heinous deeds, behold the patterns of thy butcheries.
Fair than tongue can name thee. Let me have some patient leisure to excuse myself. Say that I slew them not.
Then say they were not slain, but dead they are, and devilish slave by me.
I did not kill your husband.
Why, then he is alive.
Nay, he is dead, and slain by Edward's hand.
In thy foul throat thou liest. Queen Margaret saw thy murderous fault, and smoking in his blood.
I was provoked by her slanderous tongue.
Thou was provoking by thy bloody mind, which never dreamt of aught but butchery. Didst thou not kill this king?
I grant ye.
Dost grant me, hedgehog, then God grant me too. Oh, he was gentle, mild, and virtuous. He is in heaven, where thou shalt never come.
Let him thank me to help us send him thither, for he was fitter for that place than earth.
And thou unfit for any place but hell.
Yes, one place else, if you'll hear me name it.
Some dungeon.
Your bedchamber. Why dost thou spit at me?
Would it were mortal poison for thy sake.
Never poison came to so sweet place.
Out of my sight! Thou dost infect my eyes.
Thine eyes, sweet lady, hath infected mine.
Would they were basilisks to strike thee dead.
I would they were that I might die at once. For now they kill me with a living death. Those eyes of thine hath from mine drawn salt tears, shamed their aspects with store of childish drops. These eyes that never shed remorseful tears, my beauty hath, and made them blind with weeping. Teach not thy lips such scorn, for they were made for kissing, lady, not for such contempt. If thy revengeful soul cannot forgive, lo, here, I lend thee this sharp-pointed sword, which if thou choose to hide in this true bosom, and let the soul forth that adoreth thee, I lay it naked to the deadly stroke, and humbly beg the death upon my knee. Nay, do not pause, for I did kill King Henry, but 'twas thy beauty that provoked me. Take up the sword again, or take up me.
Arise, dissembler. Though I wish thy death, I will not be the executioner.
Then bid me kill myself, and I will do it.
I have already.
That was in thy rage. Speak it again, and even with the word. That hand, for thy love, did kill thy love, shall, for thy love, kill a far truer love. To both their deaths thou shalt be accessory.
I would I knew thy heart.
It's figured in my tongue.
I fear me both are false.
Never man was true.
Well, put up your sword.
Say then, my peace is made.
That shall he know hereafter.
Vouchsafe to wear this ring.
To take is not to give.
Look how this ring encompasseth finger. Even so, thy breast encloseth my poor heart. Wear both of them, for both of them are thine. If thy poor devoted suppliant may but ask thy gracious hand one favor, thou dost confirm his happiness forever.
What is it?
That it would please you, leave these sad designs to him that hath more cause to be a mourner. For diverse unknown reasons, I do beseech you, grant me this boon.
With all my heart, and much it joys me too, to see you are become so penitent.
Bid me farewell.
'Tis more than you deserve. But since you teach me how to flatter you, imagine I have said farewell already.
Sirs, take up the corpse. Was ever woman in this humor wooed? Was ever woman in this humor won? I'll have her, but I'll not keep her long. What, I that killed her husband and his father? Win her in her heart's most extremest hate, to take her and win her all the world to nothing? Ha! Has she forgot already that brave prince, Edward, her lord, whom I, some 3 months since, stabbed in my angry mood at Tewkesbury? A sweeter and lovelier gentleman, and will she yet debase her eyes on me, that cropped the golden prime of this sweet prince and made her a widow to a woeful bed? On me, that halt and am unshapen thus. Upon my life she finds, although I cannot myself, to be a marvelous, proper man. I'll be at charge for a looking glass. But first, I'll turn yon fellow in his grave, and then return lamenting to my love.
Have patience, madam. There's no doubt His Majesty would soon recover from his accustomed health.
If he were dead, what would betide of me?
No other harm but the loss of such a lord.
The loss of such a lord includes all harm.
The heavens have blessed you with a goodly son to be your comforter when he is gone.
Oh, he is young, and his minority is put unto the trust of Richard Gloucester, a man who loves not me nor none of you.
Is it concluded that he shall be protector?
It is determined, not concluded yet, but so it must be if the king miscarry.
Here come the lords of Buckingham and Stanley.
Good time of day unto my royal grace.
God make your majesty joyful as you have been.
Saw you the king today, my lord of Stanley.
But now the Duke of Buckingham and I are come from visiting his majesty.
What likelihood of his amendment, lords?
Madam, good cheer. His grace doth speak cheerfully.
God grant him health. Did you confer with him?
Madam, we did. He desires to make atonement twixt the Lord of Gloucester and your brothers, and twixt them and our Lord Chamberlain, and sent to warn them to his royal presence.
Would all were well, but that will never be. I fear our happiness is at its highest.
They do me wrong, and I will not endure it. Who are they that say unto the king that I am stern and love them not? Because I cannot speak fair and flatter, I must be held a rancorous enemy. Cannot the plain man live and think no harm, but thus his simple truth must be abused by silk and sly, insinuating jacks?
To whom in all this presence speaks, your grace?
To thee, that hath nor honesty nor grace. When have I injured thee? When done thee wrong? Or thee, or any of your faction? A plague upon you all! His royal person cannot be quiet scarce a breathing while, but you must trouble him with lewd complaints.
My brother Gloucester, you mistake the matter. The king of his own royal disposition, and not provoked by any suitor else, aiming belike at your interior hatred, which in your outward action shows itself, against my kindred brothers and myself, makes him descend that thereby he may gather the ground of your ill will, and so remove it.
The world has grown so bad that I cannot tell. For wrens make prey where eagles do not perch. Since every jack became a gentleman, there's many a gentle person made a jack.
Come, brother Gloucester, we know your meaning. You envy my advancement and my friends. God grant we may never have need of you.
Meantime, God grants that we have need of you. Your brother is imprisoned by your means.
I never did incense his majesty against the Duke of Clarence, but have been an earnest advocate to plead for him.
You may deny that you were not the cause of my Lord Hastings' late in Brittany.
May, my lord, for...
She may? Lord Rivers? Why, who knows not so? She may do more, sir, than denying that. She may help you to many fair preferments, and then deny her aiding hand therein, and lay those deserts on your high honors. What may she not? She may. Marry, yea, she may.
What marry may she?
What marry may she? Marry with the king, a bachelor, a handsome stripling too. I wish your grandam had a worse match.
My lord of Gloucester, I have too long borne your blunt upbraidings and your bitter scoffs. By heaven, I will acquaint his majesty with these gross taunts I've often endured. I had rather be a country servant maid than a great queen with this condition, to be thus taunted, stormed, and baited at. Small joy have I in being England's queen.
Oh, and blessed be that small God, I pray thee. Thy honor, state, and seat is due to me.
Threats you me of telling of the king? Tell him, and spare not. What I have said here I will vouch in presence of the king. I dare venture to be sent to the tower.
Oh, thou slewest my husband, Henry in the Tower, and Edward, my poor son, at Tewkesbury.
Ere you were queen, or your husband king, I was a packhorse in his great affairs. To royalize his blood, I spilled mine own.
Yea, and much better blood than his or thine.
In all which time you and your husband were factious for the house of Lancaster. Let me put in your minds, if you forget, what you have been ere now, and what you are, with all what I have been, and what I am.
A murderous felon, and so still thou art.
Poor Clarence did forsake his father Warwick, and yea, forswore himself, which Jesu pardon,
Which God revenge.
to fight on Edward's party for the crown, and for his meed. Poor lord, he is mewed up.
My lord of Gloucester, in those busy days in which here you urged to prove us enemies, we followed then our lord, our lawful king. So should be you if you should be our king.
If I should be king, I'd rather be a peddler. Far be it from my heart the thought of it.
As little joy, my lord, that you suppose you might enjoy being this country's king, as little joy may you suppose in me that I enjoy being the queen thereof.
As little joy enjoys the queen thereof. For I am she, and altogether joyless. I can hold me patient no longer. Hear me, you wrangling pirates, who fall out in sharing that which you have held from me. Who among you trembles not to look on me? If not that, being queen, you bow like subjects, yet that by you deposed, you quake like rebels. Oh, gentle villain, do not turn away.
Thou foul, wrinkled witch. Wert thou not banished on pain of death?
I was. But I do find more pain in banishment than death can yield me here by my abode. A husband and a son thou owest to me. And thou, a kingdom, all of you, allegiance. Sorrows that I have, by rights are yours, and all the pleasures you usurp are mine.
The curses my noble father laid on thee, when thou didst crown his warlike brows with paper, and with thy scorns drewest rivers from his eyes. And then, to dry them, gavest the Duke a clout, steeped in the faultless blood of pretty Rutland. His curses then from bitterness of soul denounced against thee are all fallen upon thee. And God, not we, hath plagued thy bloody deed.
So just is God to right the innocent.
Oh, 'twas the foulest deed to slay that babe. The most foul that was ever heard of.
What were you snarling all before I came? Ready to catch each other by the throat? And turn you all your hatred now on me? Did York's dread curse so prevail in heaven that Henry's death, my lovely Edward's death, their loss of kingdom, my woeful banishment, could all but answer for that peevish brat? Can curses die in his youth by like untimely violence. Thyself, a queen, like myself, a queen, outlive thy glory like my wretched self. Rivers and Dorset, you were standers by, as wast thou, Lord Hastings, when my son was stabbed with bloody daggers. Oh God, I pray him that none of you may live a natural age, but by some unlooked accident cut off.
Have done thy charm, thou hateful withered hand.
And leave out thee. Stay down, so thou shalt hear me. The worm of conscience still be gnaw thy soul. Thy friends suspect traitors while thou livest, and take these traitors for thy dearest friends. No sleep, close up that deadly eye of thine, unless it be whilst some tormenting dream affrights thee with a hell of ugly devils. Oh, thou slander of thy mother's heavy womb, thou loathed issue of thy father's loins, thou rag of honor, thou detested Richard! Oh, but let me make the period to my curse.
It's done by me. It ends with Margaret.
Thus have you breathed your curse against yourself.
Huh. Poor painted queen, vain flourish of my fortune. Why snooze thou sugar on that bottled spicer, whose deadly web ensnareth thee about? Huh. Fool, fool, thou whetst the knife to kill thyself. Oh, the day will come when you will wish for me to help you curse that poisonous hunchback too.
False boding woman, and thy frantic curse, lest to thy harm thou move our patience.
Uncharitably with me dealt, and shamefully by you my hopes are butchered.
Have done, have done.
Oh, gentle Buckingham, I kiss thy hand in sign of league and amity with thee. Oh, thy garments are not spotted with our blood, nor thee within the compass of my curse.
No, no one here. For curses never pass the lips of those that breathe them in the air.
Oh, Buckingham, beware of yonder dog. Look, when he fawns, he bites. And when he bites, his venom tooth will rankle to the death. Have not to do with him. Beware of him.
What doth she say, my lord of Buckingham?
Nothing I respect, my lord.
Dost thou scorn my gentle counsel and soothe the devil that I warned thee from? Oh, remember this day will come when he will split thy very heart with sorrow and say, poor Margaret was a prophetess.
My hair doth stand on end to hear her curses.
And so doth mine. Amused why she's at liberty.
By God's holy mother, she hath had too much wrong. and I repent my part that I have done to her.
I never did her any, to my knowledge.
But you have all advantage of her wrongs. Mary as for Clarence, but he is well repaid. God pardon them who are the cause of it.
A virtuous and Christian-like conclusion, to pray for those that have done scathe to us.
So do I ever. Being well advised now, had I cursed myself, truly, I've cursed myself.
Madam, his majesty doth call for you, and for your grace, and you, my noble lords.
Haste thee we come. Lords, will you go with us?
Madam, we will attend your grace.
I do the wrong, and first begin to brawl. The secret mischiefs that I set to broach, I lay grievously into the charge of others. Clarence, whom I indeed have laid in darkness, I do beweep to many simple Gauls, namely to Hastings, Stanley, Buckingham, and say that it is the Queen and her allies that stir up the Duke against my brother. Now they believe it. And withal like me to be revenged on Rivers, Vaughan, and Grey. But then I sigh. And with a piece of scripture, tell them that God bids us to do good for evil. And thus, I claim my naked villainy with old odd ends stolen from Holy Writ, and seem a saint. And most, I play the devil. But soft, here come my executioners. How now, my stouts resolved mates? Are you now ready to dispatch this deed?
We will, my lord, and come to have the warrants to where he is admitted.
Well thought upon. I have it here about me. But, sirs, be sudden in the execution with all obdurate. Do not hear him plead.
Clarence is well spoken and may perhaps move your hearts to pity if you mock him.
Fear not, my lord, we will not stand upright. We come to use our hands, not our tongues.
I like you lads. About your business. Go dispatch.
We will, my noble lord.
Oh, why looks your grace so heavily today?
Oh, I have passed a miserable night.
Oh, what was your dream? I long to hear you tell it.
Methought that I had broken from this tower and was embarked across to Burgundy, and in my company my brother Gloucester, who from my cabin tempted me to walk upon the hatches. Thence we looked out towards England and sighted up 1,000 fearful times during the wars of York and Lancaster that had befallen us. And as we walked upon the giddy footing of the hatches, methought that Gloucester stumbled, and in falling, struck me, and thought to stay him overboard into the tumbling billows of the main. Oh, what a pain, methoughts, it was to drown.
No marvel, my lord. Though it have frightened you, I promise, I am afraid to hear you tell it.
Stay by me, gentle keeper. My soul is heavy, and I fain would sleep.
I will, my lord. God give your grace good rest.
Oh, who's here?
In God's name, what are you and how come you hither?
I would speak with Clarence, and I came hither on my legs.
Yea, are you so brief?
Oh, sir, it is better to be brief than to be tedious. Talk no more. Show him our commission.
I am, in this, commanded to deliver the noble Duke of Clarence to your hands. I will not reason what is meant hereby, because I will be guiltless of the meaning. Here, keys. They're at least due.
Asleep.
What, shall we strike him as he sleeps?
No. He will say 'twas done cowardly when he wakes.
Hark, he stirs. Shall I strike?
No. First, let's reason with him.
Where art thou, keeper? Give me a cup of wine.
My lord, you have wine enough or not?
Who sent you hither? Wherefore do you come? To murder me!
Aye.
Oh, wherein, my friends, have I offended you?
Offended us, you have not, but the king.
The king? Well, I will be reconciled to him again.
You are deceived, my lord. Your brother Gloucester hates you.
Oh, no! Are you called forth from out the world of men to slay the innocent? What is my offense? Where are the evidence that do accuse me, huh? I charge you by the hope you have in redemption in Christ's dear blood shed for our griefs, sins. Lay no hands on me. The deed you undertake is damnable.
Who made thee a bloody minister when gallant sprig and brave Plantagenet, that princely novice who struck dead by thee?
My brother's love, the devil, and my rage.
Thy brother, our duty, and thy fault provoke us hither now to slaughter thee.
If you love my brother, then hate not me. I am his brother, and I love him well. If you be hired for meed, go back again. Go to my brother Gloucester, who will reward you better for my life than Edward shall for tidings of my death.
My lord, prepare to die.
No! My brother loves me, and he holds me dear.
Tis he that sent us hither now to slaughter thee.
No, it cannot be. It cannot be. For when I left him, he hugged me in his arms, and he said sobs, and he swore that he would labor for my deliverance.
Why, so he doth. Now he delivers thee from this world's thraldom to the joys of heaven.
Purr to me, God, for thou must die.
No! No. Hast thou that holy feeling in thy soul that thou wilt counsel me to make my peace with God when thou art to thy own soul so blind that thou wilt war with God by murdering me? Oh, sirs, consider, he that set you on to do this deed, he will hate you for this deed.
What shall we do?
Look behind you, my lord.
Huh?
Take that!
Continue this united league. Rivers, Hastings, take each other's hands. Dissemble not your hatred. Swear your love.
By heaven, my heart is forged from grudge and hate, and with my hand I seal my true heart's love.
So thrive I, as I truly swear the like.
Madam, yourself are not exempt from this, nor your son Dorset, Buckingham, nor you. You have been factious one against another. Wife, love Lord Hastings. Let him kiss your hand, and whatever you do, do it unfeignedly.
Here, Hastings, I will never more remember our former hatred, so thrive I and mine.
This interchange of love, I here protest, upon my part shall be inviolable.
So swear I, my lord.
Oh. Whenever Buckingham doth turn his hate on you and yours, but with all duteous love doth cherish you and yours, may God punish me with hate in those where I expect most love.
A pleasing cordial, princely Buckingham. Is this thou vow unto my sickly heart? There wenteth now our brother Gloucester here to make perfect period of this peace.
And now in good time here comes the noble duke.
Good morrow, my sovereign king and queen, and princely peers. Happy time of day.
Happy indeed. As we spent the day, brother, we have done deeds of charity, made peace enmity, fair love of hate between these swelling, wrong, incest peers.
Blessed labor, my most sovereign liege. Amongst this princely heap, if anyone here by false intelligence or wrong surmise hold me a foe, if I unwittingly or in my rage have aught committed what is hardly borne by any in this presence, I desire to be reconciled to his friendly peace. 'Tis death to me to be an enemy. I hate it, and desire all good men's love.
A holy day shall this be kept hereafter. I would to God all strifes were well compounded. My sovereign liege, I do beseech your majesty to bring our brother Clarence to your grace.
Madam, have I offered love for this? To be so bounted in this royal presence? Who knows not that the noble duke is dead? You do him injury to scorn his cause.
Clarence is dead? I thought the order was reversed.
Oh, but poor soul by your first order died. And that a winged Mercury did bear. Some tardy cripple bear the counterman that came too lag to see him buried. God grant that some less loyal and less noble, nearer in bloody thoughts but not in blood, deserved much more than wretched Clarence did, and not go curd from suspicion.
A boon, my sovereign, for my service done.
I pray thee peace. My heart is full of sorrow.
I will not rise unless your highness grant.
Then speak. Speak at once. What is it thou demandest?
The forfeit, sovereign, of my servant's life, who slew today a righteous gentleman lately attendant on the Duke of Norfolk.
Have a tongue to doom my brother's death, and shall give same pardon to a slave? But I, unjustly too, must grant you. But for my brother, no man shall speak. Come, Hastings, help me to my closet. Oh, poor Clarence. Oh.
Why, this is the fruits of rashness. Marked you not how the guilty kindred of the queen looked pale when they did hear of Clarence's death? Oh, they urged it still unto the king. God will revenge it. Come, let us in to comfort Edward with our presence.
We wait upon your grace.
Not your father's death. 'Twere lost sorrow to wail when it's lost.
Then, Grandam, you conclude that he is dead. The king, my uncle, is to blame for this.
Peace, child, peace. The king doth love you well. Capable and shallow innocent, you cannot guess who caused your father's death.
Grandam, I can. For my good uncle Gloucester told me the king, provoked by the queen, devised impeachments to imprison him. Think you my uncle did dissemble, Grandam?
I would.
I cannot think it. Hark! What noise is this?
Oh, who shall hinder me to wail and weep, to chide my fortune and torment myself? I'll join with black despair against my soul, to myself become an enemy.
What means the scene of ruin and patience?
To make an act of tragic violence. Edward, my lord, your son, our king, is dead.
So much interest have I in thy sorrow, as I entitle thy noble husband. I have wept a worthy husband's death, and lived by looking on his images. But now 2 mirrors of his princely semblance are cracked in pieces by malignant death, and I for comfort have but one false glass, which grieves me when I see my shame in him. I was a widow, yet thou art a mother, and have the comfort of thy children left thee. But death hath snatched my husband from mine arms, and plucked 2 crutches from mine feeble limbs, Edward and Clarence. Ah, what cause have I being but a moiety of my grief, for me to overgo thy ways and drown thy pride?
Give me no help in lamentation. I am not bearing to bring forth complaints. Oh, for my husband, for my dear Lord Edward.
Oh, for my father, for my dear Lord Clarence.
Alas, for both mine, Edward and Clarence.
What stay had I but Edward, and he's gone.
Madam, bethink you like a careful mother of the young prince your son sends straight for him. Let him be crowned, in him your comfort lives. Drown desperate sorrows in dead Edward's grave, and plant your joys in living Edward's throne.
Madam, have comfort. For we all have cause to wail the dimming of our shining star, but none can cure their harms by wailing them. Madam, my mother, I did not see your grace. Humbly on my knee, I crave your blessing.
God bless thee, and put meekness in thy breast, love, charity, obedience, and true duty.
Amen.
You cloudy princes and heart's sorrowing peers, that bear this mutual heavy load of moan, now cheer each other in each other's love. Though we have spent the harvest of this king, now we are to reap the harvest of his son. It seemeth good, therefore, that the young prince be brought forthwith from Ludlow here to London, to be crowned our king.
Let it be so. And go we to determine who they shall be that shall straight post to Ludlow. Madam, my mother, will you go and give your weighty censures of our business?
With all our hearts.
My lord, whoever journeys to the prince, for God's sake, let not the 2 of us behind. For on the way, I'll rehearse occasion, as index to the story we late talked of, to separate the queen's proud kindred from the king.
My other self, my counsel's consistory, my oracle, my prophet, my dear cousin. I, like a child, will go by thy direction. Toward Ludlow then, for will not stay behind.
Last night I hear they lay at Northampton. At Stony Stratford will they be tonight? Tomorrow or next day they will be here.
I long with all my heart to see the prince.
Here comes the messenger. What news?
Such news, my lords, as grieves me to unfold.
How fares the prince?
Well, madam, and in good health.
What is thy news then?
Lord Rivers and Lord Grey are set to Pomfret, prisoners.
Who has commuted them?
The noble Dukes Gloucester and Buckingham.
For what cause?
Why these noble dukes were incarcerated is all unknowns to me, of my gracious lady.
I see the downfall of our house. The tiger now has seized the gentle hind. Welcome destruction, death, and massacre. I see us in a map the end of all.
Accursed and unquiet wrangling days. How many of you have mine eyes beheld? My husband lost his life to get the crown, and often up and down my sons were tossed. Me to joy and weep their Canaan love.
Come, my boy, we will to sanctuary. Madam, farewell.
I'll go along with you.
You have no cause.
My gracious lady, go, and thither bear your treasure and your goods. For my part, I resign unto your grace the seal I keep, and so betides me as well I tender you and all of yours. Come, I'll conduct you to the sanctuary.
Sweet Prince, the untainted years have not yet dived into the world's deceit. Those uncles which you want were dangerous. Your Grace looked unto their sugared words, but looked not on the poison of their hearts. God keep you from them, from such false friends.
God keep me from false friends, but they were none.
My lord, the Mayor of London comes to greet you.
God bless your grace with health and happy days.
I thank you good, my lord, and I thank you all. I thought my mother and my brother York would long ere this have met us on the way. Why, what a slug is Hastings, that he comes not to tell us whether they will come or not.
Oh, and now in good time, here comes the sweating lord.
Welcome, my lord. What, will my mother come?
The queen, your mother, and your brother York have taken sanctuary. The tenor prince would fain have come with me to meet your grace, but by his mother was perforce withheld.
Oh, what a peevish and indirect course this is of hers. Lord Byron, canst thou not persuade the queen to send the Prince of Wales hither to London in the meantime and forthwith? If she refuse, Lord Hastings, go with him and pluck from her jealous arms this young Duke of York perforce.
My Lord of Buckingham, if my weak oratory can from his mother win the Duke of York, anon expect him here. But if she be obdurate to mild entreaty, God in heaven forbid we should infringe upon the holy privilege of blessed sanctuary. Not for all the land would I be guilty of so deep a sin.
Oh, you are too senseless, obstinate, my lord. Too ceremonious and traditional. Weigh it but with the grossness of this age. You break not sanctuary in seizing him. The benefit thereof is always granted to those whose dealings have deserved it, and those who have the wit to claim it. This prince hath neither earned it nor claimed it, and therefore, in my opinion, cannot have it.
My gracious lord, you shall overrule my mind for once. Come on, Lord Hastings, will you go with me?
I go, my lord.
Good lords, make all the speedy haste you may. Send for Gloucester, with our brother one. Where shall we sojourn to our coronation?
Your council may see a day or two, shall sojourn you at the tower.
I do not like the Tower of any place. I'll tell you what, my good cousin Buckingham.
Yes, my lord.
And if I live until I be a man, I'll win our ancient right and friends again, or die a soldier as I lived a king.
Short summers likely have a forward spring.
Well, now in good time, here comes the Duke of York.
Richard of York, how fares our loving brother?
Well, my dread lord, so as I must call you now.
My brother, to my grief as it is yours. Too late he died that might have kept that title, which by his death hath lost much majesty.
How fares our noble cousin of York?
I pray you, uncle, give me this dagger.
My dagger, little cousin? With all my heart.
A beggar, brother.
Of my kind uncle, which I no will give, being but a toy, which is no grief to give.
A greater gift than that, I'll give my cousin.
A greater gift? Well, that's the sword to it.
My lord in Europe will still be cross in time. Uncle, your grace knows how to bear with him.
My lord, would it please you pass along, myself and good cousin Buckingham will, unto your mother and entreat of her to meet you at the tower and welcome you.
What? Will you go into the tower, my lord?
My lord protector needs will have it so.
I shall not sleep in quiet at the tower.
Why? What should you fear?
Mary, my angry uncle Clarence Ghost. My grandson told me he was murdered there.
I fear no uncle's dead.
Nor none that live, I hope.
And if they live, I hope I need not fear. But come, my lord, with a heavy heart, thinking on him, go I unto the tower.
Think you, my lord, this little prating York was not incensed by his subtle mother to scorn and upbraid you thus opprobriously?
No doubt, no doubt. 'Tis a parlous boy. Bold, quick, ingenious, forward, capable.
Well, let them rest. Catesby, come in. Thou art sworn as deeply to confess and conceal that which we impart as thou art to effect what we intend. Thou hast heard our reasons laid out upon the way. What thinkest thou? Is it no easy matter to bring the Lord Stanley or the Lord Hastings to our mind, to install this noble Duke upon the royal throne of this famous isle?
He for his father's sake still loves the prince, that he will not be one to ought against him.
Ah, and what of Stanley? What will he?
He will do all Noah's Hastings doth.
Ah, well then, no more but this. Go, good Catesby, and as it were from far off, sound thou Lord Hastings as to his inclination, and summon him tomorrow to the tower to sit about the coronation. If you find him tractable to us, lay out for him all our reasons. But if he be ice cold, leaden, unwilling, be thou so too. And then break off your talk, and send us notification of his inclination. And so, tomorrow, we will hold divided councils, in the which thyself shall be most highly employed. But Catesby, go. Effect this business soundly. So, my lord, what shall we do if we find that the Lord Hastings is not amenable to our complaints?
Chop off his head? Something we will determine. Look, when I am king, claim thou of me the earldom of Hereford, and all the movables thereof, where the king my brother stood possessed.
I will receive this promise by your grace's hand.
and look to have it yielded with all willingness.
What ho, my lord?
Who knocks at the door?
A messenger from the Lord Stanley.
Cannot thy master sleep these tedious nights?
So it should seem by that I have to say. First, commend yourself to your noble lordship.
And then?
And then, he sends you word he dreamt tonight the boar raises hell. Besides, there are 2 councils held, and that which may be decided at the one will make you and him to ruin the other. Therefore, I am sent to know your lordship's pleasure, if presently you will take course with him, and with all speed post with him towards the north to shun the danger his soul divines.
Tell him his fears are shallow, wanting instincts. Go, bid thy master rise and come to me, and we will go together to the tower, where he shall see if the boar will use us kindly.
My lord, I'll tell him what you say.
Many good morrows, my noble lord.
Good morrow, Casey, you are early stirring. What news in this our tottering state?
It is a reeling world indeed, my lord, and I believe 'twill never stand upright till Richard were the garland of the realm.
Ha! Where the garland? Dost thou mean the crown?
Aye, my good lord.
I will have this crown cut from my shoulders ere I see the crown so foul misplaced. But canst thou guess if he doth aim at it?
I am my life, and hopes to find forward upon his party for the gain thereof. And thereupon he sends you this good news, that this same very day your enemies, the kindred of the queen, must die at Pomfret.
Indeed, I am no mourner for this news, because they have been still mine enemies. But I will give my voice on Richard's side. I will not do it. To the death. Come on. Where's your spear, man? Fear you the boar who's so unprovided?
You may jest on, but by the holy rood, I do not like these several councils.
Think you, but that I know our state secure, I would be so triumphant as I am.
The lords of Pomfret, when they rode from London, were jocund, and supposed their state was sure.
Come, what you want, my man? Today the lords you talk of are beheaded.
But come, my lord, and let us away.
Go on before, I will talk with this good fellow. What? Go you toward the tower?
I do, my lord, but long I shall not stay. I shall return before your lordship thence.
'Tis like enough, for I stay dinner there.
Supper too, although thou knowest it not. Come, will you go?
I'll wait upon your lordship.
Bring forth the prisoners!
So Richard Ratcliffe, let me tell thee this. Today shut thou behold a subject die. For truth, for duty, and for loyalty.
God keep the prince from all the pack of you. You live the truck cry woe this after.
Make haste. The hour of death is expiate.
Within the guilty closure of thy walls, Richard II here was hacked to death. And for more slander to thy dismal seat, we give thee up of guiltless blood to drink.
Now Margaret's curse has fallen upon her head for standing by when Richard stabbed her son.
Then curse she Hastings, then curse she Buckingham, then curse she Richard. Oh, remember God to hear our prayers for them. It's now for us and my sisterhood of princely sons.
Dispatch, the limit of your life is out.
Come, great come. Let us embrace and take our leave until we meet in heaven.
coronation. In God's name speak. When is the royal day?
Is all things ready for the royal hour?
It is, and wants but nomination.
Tomorrow, then, I judge a happy day.
Who knows the thinking of the Lord Protector herein? Who is most inward with the noble Duke?
But here comes the good Duke himself.
Lords, cousins all, good morrow. I have been long a sleeper. I hope mine absence don't neglect any great design which by my presence might have been concluded. Cousin of Buckingham, a word with you. Catesby has sounded Hastings in our enterprise and finds the testy gentleman so hot that he would lose his head ere give consent. His master's son, as worshipful as he terms it, will lose the royalty of England's throne.
Withdraw thou hence, my lord, I'll follow you.
His Grace looks cheerfully and smooth today. I think there's never a man in Christendom that can hide his love or hate than he. For by his face straight shall you know his heart.
What of his heart, by any likelihood in his face, could you tell today?
Marry, that with no man here he is offended. For were he had shown it in his looks.
I pray God he be not, I say.
I pray you all, tell me what they deserve that do conspire my death with devilish plots of damned witchcraft, which have prevailed upon my body with their hellish charms.
I say they have deserved death.
It be your eyes the witness to this ill. See how I am bewitched. Behold, mine arm is like a blasted sapling, withered up. And this is Edward, that monstrous witch, consorted with that harlot strumpet sure, that by their witchcraft thus have mocked me.
If they have done this thing, my gracious lord.
If thou protector of this damned strumpet, tell'st thou me of ifs? Thou art a traitor. Off with his head! Now, by St. Paul, I will not die until I see the same! Ratcliffe, look that it be done. The rest of you that love me, rise and follow me.
Woe. Woe for England. Not a whit for me. For I too fond might have prevented this. Stanley did dream the board did raise his helm. But I just scorned it, staying to fly. Margaret. Margaret. Now thy heavy curse is lighted on poor Hastings' wretched head.
Come, dispatch. The Duke would be at dinner, make a short shrift. He longs to see your head.
No momentary grace of mortal men, which we more hunt for than the grace of God.
Come, 'tis boobish to exclaim.
Oh, bloody Richard, miserable England! Come, lead me to the block, bear him my head. They smile at me that shortly shall be dead.
Come, cousin. Canst thou quake and change thy color, murder thy breath within a word, and change again and stop again as if thou wert distraught and mad with terror?
I can counterfeit the deep tragedian. But what, is Catesby gone?
He is. See, he brings the mayor along.
My Lord Mayor, we have...
Catesby, overlook the walls!
My Lord Mayor, we have been...
Look back here, defend thee! Here are enemies!
God in heaven, protect us and defend us.
Patient, 'tis our friend, Ratcliffe.
Here is the head of that ennobled traitor, that unsuspecting and dangerous Hastings.
So dear, I love the man. And I must weep. I took him for the harmless creature that breathed upon this earth a Christian.
Well, he was the most conceited and mystical and sheltered traitor that ever lived. Wouldst thou imagine or even believe that, were it not for great preservation to tell it, this morning in the council house, the subtle traitor hath conspired to murder me and our good Lord Gloucester.
What? Had he so?
What? Think you we are Turks or infidels? That we would, against the form of law, proceed thus rashly against the villain's death? The extreme peril of the case, the peace of England, our person's safety, thus moved us to this execution?
Now, fair befall you. He deserved his death. And you, my good lords, both have well proceeded to warn false traitors of the like attempts.
Yet we had not determined that he should die until your lordship came to see his death.
But, my good lord, your grace's word shall serve as well as I had heard and seen him speak.
And to that end, we called your lordship here to avoid the carping censures of the world.
But since you come too late for our intents, witness what you hear we did intend. And so, my good Lord Mayor, we bid farewell.
After cousin Buckingham, infer the bastardy of Edward's children. Tell them Edward put to death a citizen. Moreover, urge his bestial appetite in exchange of lust. Tell them that when my mother was pregnant with that insatiate Edward, my father, princely Duke of York, had wars over in France, and just by computation of time, found that the issue was not his begot. Being well appeared in his lineaments, but, sir, touch this sparingly, as 'twere far off, because you know my mother lives.
Fear not, my lord. I'll play the orator as though the golden fee for which I plead were for myself. And so, my lord, adieu.
Now will I enter. Take some privy order to hide the brats of Clarence out of sight. And to give notice that no manner of person whatsoever have recourse unto the princes. How now, my lord? What say the citizens?
The Holy Mother of our Lord, the citizens are mum and speak not a word.
Touch to the bastardy of Edward's children.
I did. And upon his contract with Lady Lucy, and his contact by deputy in France, the insatiate venality of his desires, and his conscription of the city wives, his tyranny with trifles, and his own bastardy. With all I did, infer your lateness, laid out all your victories in Scotland, your bounty, your virtue, your fair humility. Indeed, nothing suiting to our purpose was left untouched or lightly handled in discourse. And so when my oratory grew to an end, I cried, them that love their country's good, cried, God save Richard, England's royal king.
Ah, did they so?
No. God help me, they spake not a word. But like dumb statues or breathing stones, they stared upon each other and looked deathly pale.
What tongueless blocks were they? Will not they speak? Will not the mayor then and his brethren come?
Well, the Lord Mayor is at hand. Look, intend some feet.
What?
And get in your hand a prayer book. And good my Lord, stand betwixt two churchmen, so that on this ground I will build a holy descant. And be not easily persuaded to our request. play the maid's part, saying nay, nay, and take it. Go up to the means. The Lord Mayor knocks. Welcome, Lord Mayor. I dance attendance here. The Duke will not be spoke, I think. Catesby. What says you, Lord, of my request?
He doth entreat your grace, my noble lord, to visit him tomorrow or next day. He is forbid, with two right reverend fathers, divinely bent to meditation, and no worldly suit would he be moved, to draw for his holy exercise.
Return again, good Catesby, and tell you his grace that myself, the Lord Mayor, and citizens have come to have some conference with him.
I'll tell him what you say, my lord.
Aha! This prince is no Edward. He is not lolling about on some lewd love bed, but on his knees in prayer. Happy were England, were she to take upon herself as king this noble lord. But to ask him to do it for himself, I fear we will not win him to it.
Mary, God forbid his grace should say a nay.
Yes, I fear he will. Here comes Catesby. Now, Catesby, what says your lord?
My lord, he fears you mean no good to him.
Oh, by heaven, we come to him in perfect love. Return again, good Catesby, and tell us. When holy and devout religious men are at their beads, 'tis hard to draw them hence.
See where his grace stands, twain two clergymen.
And see, a book of prayer is in his hand. True ornaments of a holy man. Most virtuous prince, turn a favorable ear to our request and forgive us the interruption of your devotion and right Christian zeal.
I pray you, sir, there needs no such apology. I rather beseech you pardon me, whose earnest service in my God neglect the visitation of his friends. But leaving this, what is your gracious pleasure?
Why, even that which I hope pleaseth God above. And also pleaseth every good man of this famous isle. This noble isle doth want its proper limbs. Her face besmirched by scars of infamy. And so to recure this, we beseech yourself, my virtuous prince, to take upon you the kingship and governorship of this your land, not as protector, steward, substitute, or lowly servant to another's gain, but from blood to blood. As succession, as your birthright, your entry, your own.
Your love deserves my thanks. My desert, unmeritable as it is, shuns your high request. First, if all obstacles were cut away, so is my poverty of spirit. So many and so mighty my defects that I would rather hide myself from greatness. God be thanked, there is no need of me. The royal tree hath left us royal fruit. Lay on him what you would lay on me, the right and fortune of his happy stars, which God the Fed would wring from me.
You say Edward is your brother's son. So say we too.
Yeah.
but not by Edward's wife. For first he was contract to Lady Lucy, and then by deputy betrothed to Bona, sister of the King of France. These two put by, a poor petitioner of beauty waning, distressed widow, made prize and purchase of his lustful eye. By her, in his unlawful bed, he got this Edward, who our manners term the Prince. So, my lord, take unto yourself this proffered benefit of dignity.
Do. Good, my lord. Your citizens entreat you.
Oh, make them joyful. Resolve will soon.
Alas, why would you heap these cares on me? I am unfit for state and majesty. No. I cannot, nor will not yield to you.
Your brother's son will never reign our king.
Yes, that's right.
But we will plant another in his place, to the downfall and destruction of your house.
Yeah.
And so, with this resolution, we yield.
All right.
Come, good citizens, soon I'll entreat no more.
Where, my lord of Buckingham?
Call them against the prince. Accept their suit. If you deny them, all will lay will rue it.
I am not made of stone. Call them again. I am penetrable by your kind entreats, albeit against my conscience and my soul. Since you will buckle fortune on my back, I must have the patience to endure the load. But if black scandal or foul-faced reproach be the enforcement of this acquisition, your mere enforcement shall acquittance me from all the impure blots and stains thereof, for God he knows. You may partly see how far I am from the desire thereof.
God bless your grace. We see it, and we'll say it.
So I greet you with this kingly title. Long live Richard, England's royal king! Tomorrow, does it please you to be crowned?
Yes! Even since you will please that you will have it so.
Tomorrow, then, we will wait upon your grace. And so, most joyfully, we take our leave.
So, let's go a happy task again. Farewell, good cousin. Farewell, gentle friend.
Who meets us here? My daughter of Gloucester, daughter of Lomette.
God give your graces both a happy and a joyful time of day.
As much to you, kind sister. Whither
congratulate the gentle princess there.
Kind sister, thanks. We'll all enter together. And in good time, here the lieutenant comes. Master Lieutenant, pray you by your leave, how doth the prince and my young son of York?
Right well, dear madam. By your patience, I will not suffer you to visit them. The king has strictly charged the contrary.
The king? Who's that?
I mean the Lord Protector.
The Lord protect him from that kingly title. I am their mother. Who should keep me from them?
I am bound by oath. Therefore, pardon me.
Come, madam, you must straight to Westminster, there to be crowned Richard's royal queen.
Despiteful tidings. Oh, unpleasing news.
Keep good cheer. Mother, how fares your grace?
Oh, Dorset, speak not to me. Get thee gone. If thou wilt outstrip death, go cross the seas and live with Richmond from the reach of hell. Go hide thee from the slaughterhouse, lest thou increase the number of the dead and make me die the thrall of Margaret's curse. Neither mother, wife, nor England's counted queen.
Full of wise care is this your counsel, madam. Take all the swift advantage of the time. You shall have letters from me to my son to welcome you and greet you on the way. Do be not taken tardy by unwise delay. Come, madam, I in all haste was sent.
I in all unwillingness will go.
Go, poor soul, I envy not thy glory. To feed my humor, wish thyself no harm.
No, why? When he that is my husband now came to me as I followed Henry's corpse, when scarce the blood was well washed from his hands, which issued my other angel husband, this was my wish. Be thou, quoth I, accursed for making me so young, so old a widow, and be thy wife, if any be so mad, made as miserable by the life of thee as I am made by my dear Lord's death. Lo, ere I can repeat this curse again, even in so short a space, my woman's heart grossly grew captive to his honey words, and proved subject to my own soul's curse. Besides, he hates me for my father Warwick, and will no doubt shortly be rid of me.
Poor heart, a Jew. I pity thy complaining.
No more than for my soul I mourn for yours.
Farewell, thou woeful welcomer of glory.
Adieu, poor soul, that he gets thy leave of it.
Go thou to Richmond, and good fortune guide thee. Go thou to Richard, and good angels guard thee. Go thou to sanctuary, and with good health and sound, I to my grave, where peace and rest lie with me.
Stay, but look back with me into the tower. Pity you ancient stones those whom envy hath immured within your walls. So foolish sorrow bids your stones grow up.
Stand all apart! Cousin of Buckingham.
My gracious sovereign.
Give me that hand. Thus high, by thy advice and thy assistance, is King Richard seated. But shall these times be lasted, or shall we stay in them and rejoice with them?
So let us now, and may they live forever.
No, Buckingham. Now I do play the touch if thou be current gold indeed. Young Edward lives. Think now what I would say.
Say on, my loving lord.
Shall I be plain? I wish the bastard dead and would have it suddenly performed. Speak suddenly, be brief.
Your grace may do your pleasure.
Say that I have thy consent that they shall die.
Give me some breath, some little pause, my lord, before I positively speak in this. I will resolve you of it presently.
I will converse with iron-witted fools and unrespected boys. None for me that look into me with considerate eyes, revolving witty Buckingham grows circumspect. Boy!
Yes, my lord?
Knowest thou whom any corrupting gold may tempt to a close exploit of death?
My lord, I do know a discontented gentleman whose humble means match not his haughty mind. His name, my lord, is Daryll.
Ah, I partly know the man. Go, fetch him hither. How now, what news?
No, my loving lord, the Marquis Dorset has fled to Richmond, in the parts where he abides.
Shakespeare.
My lord?
Rumor abroad that Anne, my wife, is sick and like to die. I'll keep order of taking her close, all right? About it straight, what stands much upon me to cease all who grossly damage me. I must be married to my brother's daughter, for my kingdom stands on brittle glass. Marry my brother's daughter. Killing her brothers, and then marrying her. Uncertain way of gain. I am in so far in blood that sin will pluck on sin. Tear falling pity dwell not in this eye. Is thy name Daryll?
James Daryll, and your most obedient subject.
Darest thou to kill a friend of mine?
Please you, but I would rather kill 2 enemies.
Well thought upon, Daryll. 2 deep enemies. I mean, those bastards in the tower.
Give me open means to come to them, and I will soon rid you of the fear of them.
Thou singest sweet music to mine ears. Hark, Daryll, come hither. Go by this token.
I will dispatch it straight.
My lord, I have considered in my mind the demand that you of late did sound me in.
Well, let it pass. Dorset has fled to Richmond.
I hear that news, my lord.
Stanley, he is your wife's son. Well, look on to it.
My lord, I claim the gift due by promise upon which your honor and faith are sealed, the earldom of Hereford and the movables, the which you promised I should possess.
Stanley, look to your wife. If she convey letters to Richmond, you shall answer them. Be gone.
What says your lord to my request?
I do remember me. Henry VI did prophesy that Richmond would be king when Richmond was a peevish little boy. A king, perhaps.
My lord.
Perhaps. By chance, could the prophet not have told me that I being by that I should murder him?
My lord.
Aye, what's o'clock?
My lord, I am bold to bring to your attention that which you have promised me.
Well, what's o'clock?
Upon the stroke of 10.
Well, let it strike.
Why let it strike?
Because that, like a jack, thou keeps the stroke betwixt thy begging and my meditation. I am not in the giving vein today.
Well, then resolve me whether you will or no.
Thou troublest me. I am not in the vein.
Is it even so? Rewards he my true service with this deep contempt? Made I him king for this? Oh, let's think on Hastings. Think on Brecknock while my fearful head is off.
Tyrannous and bloody deed is done. The most arch act of piteous massacre that ever this land was guilty of. All hail, my most sovereign liege.
Am I happy in thy news, kind Daryll?
If to have done the thing you gave in charge begets your happiness, be happy then, for the deed is done, my lord.
Did y'all see them dead?
I did, my lord.
And buried, gentle Daryll.
The chaplain of the tower hath buried them, but in what place or how, I do not know.
Well done, Daryll. Come to me at after supper, and thou shalt explain to me the process of their death. Farewell till now. Clarence's son have I pent up close. His daughter I meanly match in marriage. Edward's sons sleep in Abraham's bosom. And Anne, my wife, hath bid the world good night. Now I know the Breton Richmond aims at my brother's daughter, and by that knot looks proudly over the crowd. To her I go, a jolly, thriving woman.
My lord!
Good news or bad that thou comest in so bluntly?
Bad news, my lord. Elias of Richmond and Buckingham back with the hardy Welshman is in the field and still his power increases.
Go, muster men. My counsel is my shield. We must be brief when traitors break the field.
And so, prosperity begins to mellow and drop into the rotten mouth of death. Oh, withdraw thee, wretched Margaret, who comes here?
My young children! My tender babes!
Edward Plantagenet, why art thou dead?
Edward for Edward pays a dying death.
Wilt thou, O God, fly from such gentle lambs and to throw them in the entrails of the wolf? When didst thou sleep when such a deed was done?
When holy Harry died, and my sweet son.
Dead life, blind sight, poor mortal living ghost. Woe seen, world shame, death stoop and light usurped.
With any cause to mourn but we.
If ancient sorrow be most reverend, give mine the benefit of scenery, and let my griefs frown upon the upper hand. If sorrow can admit society, tell o'er again your woes by viewing mine. I had an Edward till Richard killed him. I had a husband till Richard killed him. Thou hadst an Edward till Richard killed him. Thou hadst Richard till Richard killed him. Thou hadst a Clarence too till Richard killed him. From forth the kennel of thy womb hath for revenge. By Edward, he's dead. Killed my Edward. By Clarence, he's dead. That stabbed my Edward. And the beholders of this tragic play, the adulterated Rivers Vaughan, Hastings Gray, untimely smothered in their dusky graves. Richard yet lives. Hell's black intelligencer. Oh, cancel his bond of life, God, I pray, that I may live to say the dog is dead.
Oh, thou didst prophesy the time would come that I would ask you to help me curse that bunchback toad, that foul-bottled spider.
I called thee then vain flourish of my fortune. I called thee then poor shadow, painted queen. Where is thy husband now? Where be thy brothers? Where are thy children? Wherein dost thou joy? Decline all this and see what now thou art. For happy wife, a most distressed widow. For queen, a very caitiff, crowned with care. For one commanding all, obeyed of none. Thus hath the course of justice whirled about, leaving thee but a very prey to time, having no more but thought of what thou wast. The more to torture thee, being
O thou well skilled in curses, stay a while, and teach me how to curse mine enemies.
for there to sleep the nights, and fast the days. Compare dead happiness with living woe. Think thy babes were fairer than they were, and he that slew them fouler than he is. Bettering thy loss will make the bad causer worse. Revolving thus, teach thee how to curse.
Why should calamity be full of words?
Let them have scope, but what they will impart help nothing else, if they do ease the heart.
If so, then be not tongue-tied. Go with me. And in the bitter breath of words, let's smother my damned son, which thy two sweet sons smothered. The trumpet sounds. Be copious and exclaims.
Who intercepts my expedition?
Oh, she that might have intercepted thee by strangling thee in her accursed womb before from all the slaughters wretched doubts done.
Hidest thou that forehead with a golden crown, where should be graven, if that right were right, the slaughter of the young prince my son, and the dire deaths of my two sons and brothers? Tell me, thou villain slave, where are my children?
Thou toad! Where is thy brother Clarence, or little Nicolai Paget and his son?
Where is the gentle Rivers, Vaughan, Gray?
Where is Sir Hastings?
The flourish! Trumpets! Strike drums in the laurels! Let not the heavens hear these telltale women rail on the Lord's anointed. Strike, I say! I will be patient, and entreat me fair, or with the clamorous report of war thus will I drown out thy exclamations.
I prithee hear me speak.
You speak too bitterly.
Hear me a word, for I shall never speak to thee again.
So?
Either thou wilt die ere from this war thou turn a conqueror, or I, with grief and extreme age, and never look upon thy face again. Therefore, take with thee my most heavy curse, which in the day of battle tire thee more than all the complete armor that thou wearest. Bloody thou art! Bloody be thy end!
Stay, madam. I must speak a word with you.
I have no more sons of the royal blood for thee to murder. My daughters, Richard, they shall be praying nuns, not weeping queens. Therefore, level not to hit their lives.
You have a daughter called Elizabeth?
And must she die for this? Oh, please let her live so that she may live unscarred of bleeding slaughter. I will confess she was not Edward's daughter.
Wrong not her birth. She is of royal blood.
To save her life, I'll say she is not so.
As I intend more good to you and yours, madam, than ever you and yours were ever by me wrong.
What good is covered by the face of heaven that can do me good?
The advancement of your children, gentle lady.
Up to some scaffold, there to lose their heads?
No. To the height and dignity of this earth's glory, to the high imperial type.
Tell me what state, what dignity, what honor can thou demise to any child of mine?
Even all I have, I, myself in all, will I withal endow a child of thine.
Be brief, lest that be telling of thy process last longer than thy kindness's date.
Then know that from my soul, I love thy daughter, and do intend to make her Queen of England.
Well then, who dost thou mean shall be her king?
Even he that makes her queen, who should be else?
What? Thou?
I, even I. What thinks you of it, madam?
How canst thou woo her?
That would I learn of you.
Sent to her by the man that slew her brothers, a pair of bleeding hearts. Thereon engraved Edward in York, then happily she will weep. Tell her thou madest away her uncle Clarence, her uncle Rivers, yea, and for her sake madest quick conveyance with her good aunt Anne.
Come, you mock me. This is not the way to win your daughter.
What were I best to say? Her father's brother would be her lord? Or shall I say her uncle?
As I intend to prosper and repent, so thrive I in my dangerous attempts of hostile arms. Myself confound. Be all opposites of planets of good luck to my proceedings, if by true heart's love I tender not thy beauteous princely daughter. In her consists my happiness and thine. Be the attorney of my love to her. Plead what I will be, not what I have been.
But thou didst kill my children.
And in your daughter's womb I bury them.
Shall I go win my daughter to thy will?
Be a happy mother by the deed.
I go. Write to me very shortly, and thou wilt know from me her mind.
Deliver to her my true love's kiss. Till then, farewell. Relenting fool and shallow-changing woman. How now, what news?
My gracious sovereign, on the western coast there rideth a puissant navy, full of many doubtful, hollow-hearted friends, unarmed and unresolved to beat them back. 'Tis thought that Richmond is their admiral.
Some light-footed friend posts to the Duke of Norfolk. Catesby, fly to the Duke. Thou post to Salisbury. When thou comest thither, unmindful villain. Why standest thou still and goest not to the Duke?
First, mighty sovereign, let me know your mind. What from your grace I shall deliver to him.
True, good Catesby. Bid him levy the utmost power and strength he can and meet me presently at Salisbury. How now? What news, Stanley?
Richmond is on the seas.
There let him sink. What doth he there?
He makes for England, there claim the throne.
Is the chair
empty? The sword unswayed? Is the king dead? The empire unpossessed? What heir of York is there but we? Then tell me, what doth he upon the sea?
Unless for that, my liege, I cannot guess.
Thou wilt revolt and fly to him, I fear.
No, my mighty lord. Therefore mistrust me not.
Where is thy power then, to beat him back? Are they not now on the western shore, conducting the rebels from their ships?
No, my lord. Mighty sovereign, my friends are in the north. They have not yet been commanded. Please, that your majesty give me leave. I'll go and muster them, and we shall meet your grace where and what time your majesty pleases.
Aye. Thou wilt goest to Richmond. I will not trust you, sir.
Most mighty sovereign, you have no cause to hold my friendship doubtful. I never was, nor never will be false.
Go then. Must I know? But look you, leave behind your son, George Stanley. Look your faith be but firm, or his head's assurance is but frail.
So deal with him as I prove to you.
My gracious sovereign, now in Denbighshire as I my friends have well advertised, so Edward Courtney and the haughty prelate, Bishop of Exeter, with many more confederates, are in arms. They sit on the west shore and are comparing more arms. My liege and Kent the Guildfords are in arms, and every hour their power increases. Even now, more competitors are flocking to their aid.
My lord, the army of the Duke of Buckingham!
Out on you owls! Nothing but sounds of death! Take that until thou bring me better news!
The news I have to tell your majesty is that by sudden floods and fall of waters, Buckingham's army is dispersed and scattered, and he himself wandered away alone.
Cry thee mercy. Be gone.
My liege, the Duke of Buckingham is taken. That is the best news. At the Earl of Richmond is of a mighty power landed at Milford. It's colder tidings, yet they must be told.
Away towards Salisbury. Have someone bring Buckingham towards Salisbury. The rest march on with me.
Will not King Richard let me speak with him?
No, good my lord, therefore be patient.
Hastings and Edward's children, Rivers, Grey, holy King Henry and thy fair son Edward, Vaughan, all that miscarried by foul underhand injustice. Do that your moody, discontented souls through the clouds perceive this present hour, even for revenge mock my destruction! Now does Queen Margaret's curse hang heavy on my neck. When he, quoth she, shall split thy heart with sorrow, remember, Margaret was a prophetess. Come, good sir, convey me to the block of shade. Wrong hath been wrong, and blame, the dew of blame.
Sir Walter Blunt, tell Richmond this from me, that in the sty of this most bloody boar, my son, George Stanley, is franked up and whole. If I revolt, off goes young George's head. But tell me, where is princely Richmond now?
At Pembroke, or at Harford West, in Wales.
So get thee gone. Tell Richmond the Queen hath heartily consented that he should espouse Elizabeth, her daughter. My letter will resolve him of my mind. Farewell.
Friends, thus far into the bowels of the land have we marched without impediment, and here receive we from our father Stanley lines of fair comfort and encouragement. The wretched, bloody, and usurping boar even now lies in the center of this isle. In God's name, march, courageous friends. True hope is swift and flies with swallow's wings. Kings it makes gods, and meaner creatures kings.
Even here in Bosworth Field. Who hath described the number of the foe?
4,000 or 5,000 is their utmost power, sir.
Why, our battalion trebles that account. Besides, the king's name is the Tower of Strength, which they on the adverse party want. Let's want no discipline, make no delay. For lords, tomorrow is a busy day.
The sun hath made a weary set, and by the bright track of his fire car gives us signal of a goodly day tomorrow. Sir William Brandon, you shall bear my standard. Fetch me some ink and paper in my tent, and I shall draw out the form and model of our battle. Limit each leader to a several charge, and part in just proportion our small strength. My Lord of Oxford, you, Sir William Brandon, and you, Sir Walter Herbert, shall stay with me. The Earl of Pembroke will keep his regiment. Dost thou know where Lord Stanley is quartered?
His regiment lies a half a mile at least south from the mighty power of the king.
If without peril it be so, good Captain Blunt. Bear my good night to him, and give to him from me this most needful scroll.
Upon my life I'll undertake it, and shall God give you quiet rest tonight.
What o'clock is it?
It's 7 o'clock, my lord. 7 o'clock.
We're not stopped tonight. Give me an evening paper. What, is my beaver easier than it was, and all my armor laid out into my tent?
It is, my liege, and all things are in readiness.
Send the Percival at arms to Stanley's regiment. Bid them levy straight, or else his son George fall into the cave of deep eternal night. Pour me some wine. Saddle white sorry for this field tomorrow. Look that my stays be sound and not too heavy. Ratcliffe,
my lord.
Bid my guard watch. Leave me. Ratcliffe. At midnight, come to my tent and help to arm me. Leave me, I say.
Fortune and victory sit on thy helm.
All comfort the dark night can afford be unto thy person, noble father-in-law. Tell me, how fares our loving mother?
I, by eternity, bless thee from thy mother, who prays continually for Richmond's good. As for myself, that which I would I cannot, but will with best hours deceive the time to aid me in this doubtful shock of arms. But on this thy side I am not to appear too forward, lest thy brother, tender George, be executed in his father's sight.
Good lords, conduct him to his regiment. Once more, good night, lords and gentlemen. O thou, whose captain I account myself, to thee I do commend my watchful soul, ere I let fall the windows of mine eyes. Sleeping and waking, O God, defend me still.
Let me sit heavy on thy soul tomorrow. Think of how thou stabbed me at my prime of youth at Tewkesbury. Despair, therefore, and die. Be of good cheer, Richmond, for the wrong souls of butcher princes fight in thy behalf. King Henry's issue, Richmond, comforts thee.
I was mortal, my anointed body by thee was pierced by deadly holes. Think on the tower and of me, despair and die. Harry, that doth prophesy thou wouldst be king, doth comfort thee to live and flourish.
Let me sit heavy on thy soul tomorrow. Tomorrow in the battle, think on me. Despair and die. Offspring of the house of Lancaster, the wronged heirs of York do pray for thee. Good angels, guard thy battle. Live and flourish.
Let me sit heavy on thy soul tomorrow. Rivers that died upon fret, despair and die.
Think upon Graham of thy soul, despair. Let fall thy lance, despair and die.
Awake and think our wrongs in Richard's bosom will conquer him. Awake and win the day.
Bloody and guilty, guiltily awake, and in a bloody battle end thy days. Think on Lord Hastings, despair and die. Quiet and troubled soul, awake, awake, armed by to conquer, for fair England's sake.
Dream on thy cousin smothered in the tower. Let us be led on thy bosom. Thy nephew's souls bid thee despair and die.
Sleep, Richmond, sleep in peace, and wake in joy. Good angels guard thee from the boars annoy. Edward's unhappy sons do bid thee flourish.
Richard, thy wife, that wretched Anne, thy wife, that never slept a quiet hour with thee, now fills thy sleep with perturbations. Tomorrow in the battle, think on me, and fall thy edgeless sword. Despair and die. Thou quiet soul, sleep thou a quiet sleep. Dream of success and happy victory. Thy adversary's wife doth pray for thee.
Alas was I that helped thee to thy throne. Alas was I that felt thy tyranny. Oh, in battle think on Buckingham, and die in terror of all thy cowardice. I died ere I could lend thee aid. But cheer thy heart and be not thou dismayed. God and good angels fight on Richmond's side, and Richard falls at height of all his pride.
Give me another horse. Bind up my wounds. Have mercy. Jesus! Oh. Oh.
I did but dream.
conscience, how dost thou afflict me? Lights burn blue. Cold, fearful drops stand in my shivering flesh. What do I fear? Myself? Is none else alive? Is there a murderer here? No. Yes. I am. And fly, what, from myself? Great reason why. Lest I revenge. What, myself upon myself? Alack, I love myself. Wherefore? For any good that I myself have done unto myself? But no. Alas, I'd rather hate myself for hateful deeds committed by myself. I am a villain. Yet I lie, I am not. Fool, of yourself speak well. Fool, do not flatter. My conscience hath several thousand tongues, and every tongue brings in a several tale, and every tale condemns me for a villain. Perjury, perjury in the highest degree, murder, stern murder in the direst degree. All several sins, used in each degree. Thrown to the bar, crying, guilty, guilty! I shall despair. There's no soul that loves me. And if I die, no creature will pity me. Nay, wherefore should they? Since I myself find in myself no pity to myself. Methought that all whom I had murdered came to my tent and wished tomorrow's vengeance on the head of Richard.
Sir, your friends are up and buckle on their armor.
Ratcliffe, I have dreamed a fearful dream. Dost thou think our friends will prove all true?
Nay, good my lord.
Ratcliffe, I fear.
Nay, good my lord, be not afraid of shadows.
Shadows?
How have you slept, my lord?
Fairest sleep and fairest boding dreams that ever entered a drowsy head. Methought the souls whose bodies Richard murdered came to my tent and cried on victory. Tell me, how far into the morning is it, lords?
Upon the stroke of 4.
It's time to arm and give direction. God and our just cause fight upon our side. The prayers of holy saints and wronged souls, like high-reared bulwarks, do stand before our faces. Richard, accept those whom we fight had rather us win than him they follow. For what is he they follow? Truly, gentlemen, a bloody tyrant and a homicide. One raised in blood and one in blood established. One that made means to come by what he hath and slaughter those who were means to help him. A base, foul stone, made precious by the foil of England's chair, where even now he falsely sits. One that has ever been an enemy to God. Then, if you fight God's enemies, God will in justice ward you as his soldiers. If keep in peace the tyrant being slain. If you do fight your country's enemies, your country's fat shall pay your pains the higher. If you fight in safeguard of your wives will welcome home the conquerors. If you do free your children of the sword, your children's children quitted in your age, then, in the name of God and all these rights, advance your standards, draw your willing swords, let sound drums and trumpets boldly and cheerfully. God and St. George, Richmond and victory!
Tell me the clock there. Give me a calendar. Who saw the sun today?
Not I, my lord.
The sun will not be seen today. Not signed today. What is that to me that it is more to Richmond? For the same self-heaven that frowns on me looks sadly upon him.
The arm, my lord. The foe vaunts in the field.
I will lead my soldiers into the field, and thus my battle shall be ordered. My forward shall be drawn out tall and length, consisting equally of horse and foot. Our archers shall be there in the midst. Them we shall follow, with the puissance of chiefest horse on both sides. This the St. George and to boot. What sayest thou, Ratcliffe?
A great plan, my warlike sovereign. This I found on my tent this morning.
Jockey of Ratcliffe, be not too bold. For Dickon thy master is bought and sold. A thing devised by the enemy. What? Shall I say more than I have inferred? Remember whom you are to cope withal. Let's whip these stragglers overseas, lash hence these overweening rags of France. Shall these stay with our lands, lay with our wives, ravish our daughters? Hark! I hear their drum. Fight, bold gentlemen of England! Fight, bold jailmen! Draw, archers, draw your arrows to the head! Spur your proud horses and ride in blood! What says Lord Stanley's regiment?
My lord, he doth deny to come.
Off with George's head then.
My lord, the foe is beyond the marsh. After the battle, let George Stanley die.
1,000 hearts sit within my bosom. Advance our standards, set upon our foes. St. George inspires with the spleen of fiery dragons. Upon them, victory sits on our helms. My life upon the cast, and I will stand the hazard of the die. Methinks there be 6 Richmonds in the field. 5 have I slain today instead of him. The horse, my kingdom for horse!
Slain, bloody, guilty, guiltily awake, in a bloody and thy days.
Die in terror of thy guiltiness.
When I was mortal, my anointed body by thee was punched by deadly holes.
No!
God, and your arms be praised, victorious friends. The day is ours. The bloody boar is dead.
Courageous Richmond, well hast thou acquitted me. Lo, this long usurped royalty from the dead temples of this bloody wretch have I plucked to grace thy brow withal. Take it, enjoy it, and make much of it.
Great God of heaven, say amen to all. Please tell me, is Lord, is young George Stanley living?
He is, my lord, and safe in Leicester town.
What men of name are slain on either side?
John, Duke of Norfolk, Walter, Lord Ferrer, Sir Robert Brackenbury, and Sir William Brandon.
Inter their bodies as becomes their birth. Proclaim a pardon to all those fled and will in submission return to us. Then, as we obtain the sacrament, we shall unite the white rose and the red. England hath long been mad and scarred herself. The brother blindly shed the brother's blood. The father rashly killed his own son. The son, being compelled, was butchered to the sire. All this divided York and Lancaster, divided in dire division. Oh, now, let Richmond and Elizabeth, by God's fair ordinance, be conjoined together. And may their heirs, God, if thy will be so, enrich the time to come with a smooth-faced peace, one with smiling plenty and fair prosperous days. All civil wounds have stopped, peace lives again. Long that she may live, fear God, say amen.